podcasting.
Podcasting.
Welcome to the Pitch of Discontent.
I'm Owen.
I'm Paige, I guess. Thank you for joining us. This is the weekly Roundup, episode 207.
207.
You may notice that we are currently in some secret location. We are on vacation in Las Vegas.
We're filming our porn just behind you later.
Filming our 1978 porn debut
It totally looks like
this
that.
incredible hotel decor. I hope you appreciate the production values, everyone. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Paige, how are you feeling?
Oh my god, like death.
Yeah.
A little less like death today than previous days, but I saw a light at the end of a tunnel and I was like, no, the world needs me for podcast.
Look, she soldiered through. It was a rough few days. By the time I edit and publish this, it will be several days late. You're welcome.
Sorry.
But also, we're on vacation. What do you want from us?
I mean, we were definitely like, all plans were to go ahead with our normal publishing schedule, but yeah, I was like genuinely sick, like in a bathtub in a hotel room, like fighting to breathe.
She was deathly ill, and there's no way I was gonna like drag her out in front of a camera and a microphone. So, kudos to Paige
and
for
that was for
soldiering on
your
now.
benefit, really.
Yes,
because
indeed.
no one needs to see that.
Paige, do you have any shout outs? Anything that you would like to shout out at the top of the show for this week?
There's a lot going on in the world right now. It's kind of fucking crazy. Trump just got inaugurated. Elon did the Russian. Was it the Russian?
No, the Roman salute.
The Roman salute.
Yeah.
Do you know that's where
loser.
it came from, right? You know, that's where. Cool. Good.
I believe everyone.
You guys know. Why am I
everyone on
talking to you
Twitter
like you guys like Elon Musk?
Running a defense for him, so that's fine. Good
That's
for
so
him.
fucking weird.
Fucking loser.
God, he sucks. He's so gross.
I have a shout out. This is the third time we've recorded this because of various tech issues. So Paige has already heard this, but shout out Hawaiian Airlines. Shout out the fact that you say mahalo after everything.
Which means hello and goodbye.
I really enjoy that. And
Also, Ohana means family. And family means no one gets left behind.
Yeah, beautiful. Mahalo.
Mahalo.
All right, should we get into tracks for this week?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, Paige. First song for this week comes from Southern California hardcore outfit Initiate. Do you remember this band at all?
Yeah.
We probably featured them in the very first kind of year of the podcast. They put out a record on Triple B called Cerebral Circus.
Yeah, I think I did some stupid accents.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Good record. But since then, the band have been laying relatively low. I know they did an Audio Tree Live session at some point last
Good
year.
for them.
And vocalist Crystal Pack had really blue hair.
Yeah.
So I remember the thumbnail quite vividly.
Yeah.
But the band are back. They have a new single. This
Band
one...
is back in town.
Thank you. This one is called Too Much. And... this thing is stunning. It is something that elevates their already kind of aggressive momentum, kind of addled hardcore sound into like new heights. It's like emotionally charged, melodic hardcore with like a really like stirring emotional undercurrent. It's really, really good. Could be a hint at a new direction for
dark
the
and
band.
ominous.
It's definitely dark and ominous. And I have a quote here from Crystal, which will kind of illuminate what the song's about. She says, "When I wrote Too Much, my hope with this song was that it guides the listener to begin internal dialogue with themselves, because the song is written about my own internal dialogue in regards to how destructive and careless the media has been with Palestinian lives. Too much touches the dark and the light, how the constant exposure to death makes me feel like living to see the next day is incredibly bleak, but when you do find the light in that dark place, it permeates through. And with that, it's forever and always free Palestine."
Yeah, I feel the same way.
So it's a track that's trying to give voice to that kind of like bleak hopelessness with the current situation and
How suffocating it all kind of feels. Yeah.
and considering the country that we're in and the time that we're in, incredibly relevant. So,
yeah. Yesterday we saw a sick Martin Luther King parade, and then just like MAGA hats everywhere. It was like two juxtapositioned things that
cognitive dissonance. Yes.
Because you know the king is rolling in his grave. He's like, this is fucked. And I agree.
Yeah, it was very odd to witness. But anyway, enough America bashing.
We're not bashing America. I'm certainly not. I feel bad for my American friends.
Yeah, me too.
It's rough for you guys out here.
It is. It's a country of juxtaposition.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. All right, well, let's listen to the track. This is Initiate, Too Much.
Let's do it.
The compassion fatigue that I see taking hold of me, down and out, a rising sea of doubt. Wanna care throughout, no life left thinking like a drought. Now there's a feeling of senselessness, psychotic dreams and the grind of protest.
All right, what did you think about that?
I think that it definitely hit the mark of the presser, like feelings of suffocation, overwhelmed.
Yeah.
That
There's that hook in there about like nightmares becoming reality.
It gave this like sleep paralysis demon energy for sure.
Yeah, okay.
And then mixed with like specifically because of how dreamy it was instrumentally as well. So like musically, like instrumentally, you're getting lulled into this sense of like relaxation and like drifting off. It's quite beautiful and sort of like pixie-esque. And then like your like your subject matter being like everything is fucking inescapable, and like no matter how hard you try, no matter how many fucking boycotts you do or protests you attend, it seems like fuck all is happening. And I think everyone can relate to that right now.
Yeah, I think the lyrical content is incredibly poignant and relevant. I think like musically too, the first thing that I thought when I heard it was like it gave me the same kind of like, I don't know, like hair on the back of the spine, kind of like chills of listening to a band like Touche Amore.
Totally.
And the way that like Jeremy's vocal is like so distinct and like cuts through the sonic kind of palette that band is working with. And I feel like here, you know, in terms of like genre and sound, it's very similar, but Crystal's voice and it just kind of like cuts straight through this mix in a very like piercing and deliberate way. But I also hear shades of like Death Heaven and like this kind of like very like atmospheric black gaze kind of like sonic palette to it.
Too,
like it's very like pretty and lush. There's lots of background to it, but there's still that kind of undercurrent of momentum and that kind of like swift pace to everything. It's really, really good. And
it's incredible.
And
you can really feel the emotion in it as well.
Absolutely.
Like there's, you know, I think a lot of songs coming out about the horrific things that we're seeing all around the world, and they're great ways, for me personally, to kind of like work through those feelings
and process things.
Yeah, so when you can feel like you and the musicians and the song all kind of can digest as one in a way.
Yes.
There's always something just so much more like magical. Kind of like this is what we do it for type shit, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, very much so.
We don't always speak the same language or understand, you know, the world to be the same place or same experience for each individual, but we all seem to figure out ways to connect through music, and that's kind of magical in a really dark and sad way.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful way to put it. Next track I have for you is one that I'm excited.
I almost died recently.
she's a bit existential, folks.
Sorry.
next track I have for you is one that I'm excited to play. So there's a band that I mentioned in the newsletter all the way back in 2021, before we had the twinkle in the podcast eye. Band is called Narrowcast, and they put out an EP called Phenomena, which was incredible, and it made my best EPs of 2021 list. The band is notable for being the current project of former Transit vocalist Ella Meadows.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess the band has been kind of taking a bit of a back seat as Ella kind of goes through her transition, and she's working through a bunch of stuff in her personal life, but is still very much making music and committed to performing, which I definitely appreciate as a longtime Transit fan. It's interesting that this record is called Woven in the Wind Chimes, just because there's a common thing with Ella's lyrics, and it came up a lot of times in the Transit back catalogue, of just like this use of alliteration, of like using words that start with the same sound. And I don't know, just like
letter.
Yeah, when I saw the album cover, when I saw the title, it just made sense.
Yeah, you
I
were
was just
like, yep.
That's perfect. And like, I don't know about the deeper meaning behind it, and I'm sure we'll find out more as the album is released. It's scheduled for independent release on January 31st, so it'll be out in a few weeks. But the lead single is called Handful of Teeth, and I'm going to play that for you now. It's beautiful.
Okay, let's check it out.
Let's check it out. Narrowcast, Handful of Teeth.
Handful of Teeth. For a very atmospheric vibe this week.
We are. There's definitely a bit of a theme, conscious or otherwise, to the tracks that I've picked. And I wrote in the newsletter for this week, which is already out because, you know, we're not doing things normally.
That bothers him deeply, just so you know.
It does. But we persevere, okay?
Breath he just did.
It's the same guy.
It's this. We got ding-dong ditched the other night because Owen yelled at some kids making fucking TikToks in the hallway, and when he passed them later on, the kids looked at each other and they were like, it's the same guy.
I was essentially Walter Matthau from Dennis the Menace.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the old grumpy man now. Yeah,
fucking
I wrote
hilarious.
in the newsletter about Handful of Teeth, and kind of Narrowcast more broadly, that they're the latest entry in the spacey, shoegaze adjacent, catchy alt rock stuff that's also super hooky and memorable.
For sure.
Arms race.
I mean, for sure.
That everyone is doing, which is, you know, across multiple genres, people are definitely leaning into this lush, dense,
I love it.
atmospheric sound, whether it's like heavy stuff, whether it's more kind of radio friendly stuff. This seems to be the thing that people are touching on.
I think it is. I think it's collaborative stuff. I think that it takes more people to make music like this, and I think people are really yearning for connection with other people after the COVID years, you know what I mean?
No, that makes perfect sense.
And
I think that's very true. People are yearning for a sense of connection.
Companionship and connection, and yeah, so I think as a result, we're just getting these thicker mixes with a whole lot of shit happening on it.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's cool. I like it.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear the record, and it's going to be out in a few weeks anyway, so I'm super excited about that. I'd also just kind of say to anyone who is watching or listening and you happen to be a trans person in America, we see you, and
I'm sorry.
Sorry about everything, but things will get better. And
It seems
just
kind of scary.
just dig deep and find your community, find your people, and stay safe.
We love you.
Yeah. Moving on. Next track I have for you, completely different vibe switch here. This is a deathcore supergroup called Psychoframe. They have announced their addition to the Sharptone roster,
Ooh, good
so that's
job.
pretty sick for them. The band is composed of several veterans from metal's various subgenres, but they all came together to create really aggressive and, in their words, emulating music. This one is notable because it features vocalist Michael Sugars, who you may remember as being in the band Church Tongue that we featured on the show last week.
Yeah.
So we're going back to back, Michael for tracks. The band has come through with a new double single in tow with the label announcement. That one is called Feed, and it features 2 tracks, No Revives and Breathing Napalm. And I've got a quote for lead
Isn't
single.
breathing napalm really bad? It's like makes it way more explosive.
It's not good.
Yeah, don't let it breathe.
I don't know if it makes it more explosive. It's definitely not good.
It makes it more like it's temperament or something. Like it's easy. It'll go off easier. Is that right? Or am I thinking of like where it bleeds and leaks?
I mean, that's where it like sweats.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
That's
of.
more of like a
And I'm specifically thinking of Lost with dynamite.
yeah, it's not napalm at all.
It's not even napalm.
No. It's cool how your brain works
Know
sometimes.
your explosives, kids.
I have a quote for lead single No Revives, which the band says focuses lyrically on destroying narcissistic thought patterns and eliminating an ego that would convince someone that they are above others.
I mean, I think that's like an everyday challenge for a lot of people, especially if they look like a big giant Cheeto. But also, like, just like ego death is something that we all have to go through, especially like after your 20s.
Yeah.
When you like build, I think when you're younger, you build a lot of your identity and like how you look and present yourself and what music you listen to and whatever identity you've convinced yourself you have. And then you hit 30 and you're like, this doesn't fucking matter to anyone.
Yeah.
For sure. And also LSD.
That will do it for you.
It's like a 12-hour ego death.
All right, well, let's listen to the single. This is Psychoframe, No Revives.
Let's do it.
So we were listening to the song, and Paige was asking me about a similar band that she had referred to me a while ago.
I don't even remember who they were, do you?
No, but she was basically saying, like, what differentiates this from some other kind of deathcore heavy band
And
that
they,
we
like, I really
that we
liked
played?
them because they had this orchestral arrangement as well
Like a
underneath them.
symphonic kind of thing
And
to it.
you know, you guys know me and classical instruments intertwined with anything. It's so good. But Owen was basically just writing this band off, which is probably good that we can't remember them because we don't like being mean to people on this show.
Fake news, never happened.
And I genuinely think that there's like a lot of similarities with this band and that band.
Yeah, like, I don't think Psychoframe are doing anything revolutionary, certainly not for, like, the deathcore sound.
They have a pretty unique tonality.
Yeah, what's funny about like their press release and stuff is that they call themselves the last deathcore band as like a tongue-in-cheek thing of like
There's so many.
there's so many and we're going to be the last ones, like
We're holding out.
we're the last ones. And I kind of wrote about this in the
All I can think about is like, you know, those competitions where it's like you're winning a car and it's the last person to take their hand off the car and that's who wins the death medal.
yeah. I'm thinking that episode of Always Sunny where they have to like dance and it's the last person who stops dancing.
Exactly.
Similar
Wins
vibe.
the death metal.
Yeah. No, I wrote in the newsletter for this week that there are a lot of bands in both like the metalcore and like deathcore sphere trying to bring back like the MySpace sound.
Totally, yeah.
And like no one can really quite pin down like what the MySpace sound is.
You know what it was? It was recorded in a garage on GarageBand with like the most beat up SM58 mics you've ever fucking seen. One mic on the kit. There's nothing on the kick itself because they're in a fucking garage. The garage is the kick drum. That's the sound. Just do it with the shittest equipment you can find, and that's what they did. And it was very much just what they had.
Yeah, and I think like what's funny is that this is definitely like kind of harking back to that MySpace sound of deathcore, you know, where like there were so many bands just like trying to be Suicide Silence, trying to be Whitechapel, trying to kind of like be on the cusp of like what was cutting edge at the time in like 2007 or 2008 or whatever. And like if you played me Psycho Frame then when I was listening to those aforementioned bands and being like, this is dope, I would be like, oh, this is dope.
This
like
fits
it would fit in seamlessly.
Perfectly, yeah.
I think they've got like...
And that for you is what...
Kind of, yeah. It might be like a...
That's how you win the death metal.
It's like a nostalgic thing.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool.
I mean, look, as soon as I heard this and I heard that super tight, like, bongo snare, I was like, I'm in.
I mean,
Let's
for sure.
go.
If it sounds like you're on a basketball court and the snare's a basketball... That's what makes it death metal.
But yeah, the band is crazy. Everyone in the band is super talented. They're on Sharp Tone. Like, they're going to do big things. I know they're probably working towards a record.
Just another group of people that can't save a shred for the rest of us.
No, they've all got, like, really good bands.
You
and they're like, let's do another
talented motherfuckers.
You dogs.
You dogs. You fucking dogs.
You dirty dogs. All right, next track I have for you is another vibe shift. This is Montreal oi band Spleen.
Hell yeah. It's time for a good oi band.
I love this band because they feature members of Béton Armor and Puffer, which if you've been, you know, watching the show,
we stand,
reading the newsletter, you know how I feel about those two. So with their powers combined, Spleen do the same thing.
Yeah, fuck yeah. They're doing Dragon Ball Ultra shit.
So they have a new demo out. It's simply titled 2. And it's 5 more tracks of exactly what you would expect from a band like Spleen with the band members that they have. You've got brash oi, you've got fast punk, got a little bit of power pop that makes it kind of memorable and catchy. I've got a quote here from Roachleg Records, who've put out a demo. They say the band returns with the second demo, expanding where the first left off. Not easily categorizable, the band takes from 90s mod revival, like Brian Jonestown Massacre, some krautrock influence. It's 5 original tracks that are equal parts downcast, moody, powerful, and original.
Well, my dad was a mod, so he'll like that. You listening, Dad? Dad?
Dad!
Dad!
Ow!
Dad!
So my favorite track of the EP is called, excuse my Quebecois French here, Rene Temperatura, which is...
Holy shit, that was bad.
Which is Nothing Will Stop You.
Can you show me?
Do you want to have a crack?
I don't know, it's been a while since 12th grade fucking French class. Where is it? Oh, Rien ne Temperatura. Yeah, I can't do that one. So, like, I think it would be like... Yeah, I can't do that. I'm so sorry, you guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm an Australian woman.
All I
and
know
a pretty
is
bogan one, too.
I gave it a couple of cracks in Google Translate, and I was like, I got this. I got this in the bag. And I did.
You know what?
You're welcome.
Just clip, like, the AI audio over us.
Sure.
And every time I attempted it, I'd like you to do that, too.
Okay. Well,
perfect execution.
In English, it means nothing will stop you. So this is Spleen, nothing will stop you.
Except a respiratory infection.
That stops her.
That stopped me. Stopped me pretty fucking hard.
jumped onto the right bit there. You've latched onto the best bit, which is that guitar riff, super memorable, super catchy.
So
it's
fun.
like the same, I don't even know how many bars, just repeated
It makes me
over
want to
and
do
over
that
and over again.
like Gammon 50s dance when you're like,
Yeah, I think like what they do so well is just have like one instrumental element that is like super hooky and memorable, and then everyone else can just kind of like vibe around it.
Yeah.
So like, you know, couldn't really get it too dialed in because our like stereo setup here is a pretty mid, but you know, like there's a nice playful bass line, the drums are kind of doing what they need to, but like everything is like hyper
everything's
focused
very shiny.
and locked in on that guitar line.
Yeah, for sure.
Even the vocals.
Everything
like,
kind of
just
swirls around it.
There's not a lot of vocal stuff going on there. It sounds kind of fun. It's a type of shit because like when I saw Bass on Armour play in Melbourne, incredible show. Like it was just pure vibes. Just like everyone just like pogoing along,
Yeah.
and like, you know, all of the fucking skinheads up the front just like beating the shit out of each other, but then like everyone else, like all the old heads, all the young kids, everyone was just like
Just bouncing.
just bouncing, just vibing. It's just
having
like
fun.
And that constant jangly fucking guitar line is just like the perfect rhythmic kind of like move maker where you just want to like fucking
It's like a
vibe.
current.
Yeah,
Just pulls you in, pushes you
it's
out.
good shit. Go
Yeah.
listen to the demo. The whole demo rocks.
You should check it out.
You can do 5 tracks in like 7 minutes.
Do it.
Do it. All right. Final song for side A this week. In a repeat from last year, I'm spending another January talking about the Finnish solo alternative metal project Shedfromthebody.
Nice.
I'm not sure if you remember this. We featured the song
In January.
Amare in January last year, which came from a record that dropped in 2023. This one is a brand new record that dropped at the very start of this year, so at least it's a current release.
You didn't cheat this time?
We didn't cheat this time. But Shedfromthebody is the solo project of Suvi Savico, who is a producer, songwriter, artist, self-described goth creature and provider of immaculate vibes. New record is called Whisper and Wane, and I love this thing. It's a mesmerizing listen. It's full of gothy, ambient, ethereal, doom-laden soundscapes. All the shit.
Dark and ominous.
All the shit that we constantly love and also make fun of on this show all the time. But it's really, really good. And I said in the newsletter this week that, like, if you listen to that last Ethel Cain record
I fucking did, dog.
and found it to be kind of too impenetrable and a little bit too diffuse with its like drone and ambient
I'm sorry.
wanderings.
If that's true, you're wrong. Actually.
I mean, to each their own. Everyone's got their own taste. I would just say that maybe this is a little bit more straight and narrow for you. Maybe this has the subversive hooks that you're yearning for.
I don't need hooks. All right?
Babe, you are
I
a
just
hook.
need that fucking house in Alaska, all right?
All right, well, we're going to listen to my favorite track from Whisper and Wane. So this is Shedfromthebody, Sungazer. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Cause I don't know over the way.
Thoughts?
I loved it. I think she's kind of got more of this like pixie-esque tonality, and she's kind of sounds like a woodland fairy in a way. Super breathy and elongated
Yeah, I
notes.
think that's the Finnish kind of nature of like who she is as an artist, right? Like they have like such a unique kind of like tonality to their language and their kind of intonation, and that I think like she's definitely singing in
Which
English.
is what makes Finnish so sick when they get like they transition from something like this into just like a full hectic death growl.
Yeah, and like she doesn't really go like super
No.
heavy in her project, but when she does, like she just lets out this very like primal kind of like scream,
Yeah.
and it just like
Haunting.
It's very haunting, and she does it at just the right moments. And in this song in particular, like, it's very like moody throughout most of the track, and then there's just like a couple of moments where everything like drops into like a little bit of like just a heavy
It reminds me of like a
reverby section.
Clefairy from Pokemon. Clefairy,
Sure, yeah.
Clefairy. But then Clefairy can fuck you up. So at the same time, it's like lulling you into this sleepy little sense, and then pa! Critical hit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I had the exact same thought.
Yeah, me too.
You can listen to Whisper and Wayne in full. It's up on Bandcamp. It's up on Spotify. Go give it a listen.
Please do.
Tell Suvi that we sang her and that we think she's great.
Yeah, be like, hey, Suvi, we discovered you from the Pitch of Discontent podcast.
Shout out.
Shout out to us.
That wraps up Side A for this week. So thank you for riding with us through all of these production issues.
Sorry if I said anything too nonsensical. My brain's not. It's not quite right. Is the best way
she's getting there.
I can describe it.
She's still booting up.
It's just like a bit of a fog.
She's still buffering, folks.
And I'm kind of just like, I'm hoping that I'm not permanently brain damaged, if I'm honest.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Shit went down in here. But yeah, cool. Love you guys. And
You can watch the rest of the show on the Patreon. You can get Side B, rest of the show, feature album discussion, all the good stuff. Go over to Patreon. Give us a
juicy.
sub. We love you.
We love you.
We'll catch you next week.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Subscribe now to the Pitch of Discontent Patreon to receive access to extended cuts of our bonus episodes, as well as exclusive behind-the-scenes content, monthly Patreon-only episodes, member-only votes, the TPD community chat, and much more. Go now to patreon.com/tpdpod and join for as little as $5 a month. That link again is patreon.com/tpdpod. Thanks for watching the show.